Good morning to you. Welcome to Leaning In with Ann. This is a walk and talk that I do every weekday morning. I am just lethargic and tired today, but I am here and I'm walking and we're going to do a thing. So, those of you who have never been here before, this is Leaning In with Ann. I'm Ann Ferguson and I am an author. I am a mindset coach. We're going to talk about mindset a little bit today, what that means. And I'm a grandma, a friend. I'm a lot like you. I'm just like you, honestly. But anyway, that's me. All right. Let's do this. We're going to talk about communication all week. And I'm going to give you some magic phrases, magic words. Why? Because we're going to need communicate. We need communication all the time. But sometimes when we're with family or we're with friends or we're in social settings or preparing for those things, we need some extra communication. So we're going to get really clear. Let me tell you what happened this morning. This is why. So a lot of times what I talk about is because something happened this morning or in the morning and I decided to talk about it. There are so many things I want to talk about today, but I'm trying to keep myself kind of contained so that we have some kind of direction here. Okay. So my husband said to me something about the cars and he says, "What time's your appointment? Do you think you'll be done?" And I know that my son has an appointment today. I have an appointment at like 1:20, and my son has an appointment at, I want to say 2:20, 2:30. And the question really is, am I going to be finished and back home in time for my son to take the car to go? Because right now we got a car down. So we have 3 drivers, 2 cars. And I just went, and he shut down. He started to shut down emotionally. And here's the thing. I have the right to feel dread. I have the right to feel frustrated that I can't just have my husband take me and come home and do a nap. That is totally, totally okay for me to feel. And I expressed this morning. And I said, "Why? What's going on?" And then he said, "We only have one car." And he had all sorts of feelings behind the one car thing. And I had all sorts of feelings about the dread thing. And what I have learned is this phrase. This is one of the phrases that I would love for you to adopt this week. Are you ready? When somebody says something to you and you feel agitated, like your air hose is just dropped down from under you, like somebody stepped on your air hose and you power down, or frustrated, when you feel blamed, when you feel shame, like somebody says something to you and you've been doing fine, all of a sudden, whoosh, you hear or you feel all this stuff, be aware of it. And then here's your phrase. Are you ready? Gonna help you do everything. Ready? It is, "What I heard you say was." And then you don't repeat back the words like, "What I heard you say was, we only have one car." Okay, that's not actually what I heard. I heard all the things that went into, we only have one car. So what I heard him say was that I need to go to my eye appointment. Jade needs to come with me. And then I need to go with him while my eyes are dilated to his appointment because we only have one car. That's what I heard. That's what the was. Because in my brain, what I saw was my husband coming with me so that I didn't have to drive home with dilated eyes, and him coming, him hearing about what's going on with my eyes, me being supported, me driving home, me going to sleep, Jane taking the car. And I said, "So what I heard you say was that I need to go to the appointment. Jaden needs to come with me. And then I've got to go with him to his appointment. Is that correct? Is that what you said? And that little phrase helps with clarity so much. And he was able to evaluate, oh, is that what he's actually saying? Why? Because a lot of times what we do is many people will ask questions or give one little bit answers and they have all this meaning behind it. And many times we aren't actually picking up on all the meaning. We react as though that's the case. So me saying, is this what you're wanting me to understand? Is that true? Now we get to get some clarity. So he gets to say, yeah, that's what I think should be done. Or in his case, he said, well, I mean, we only have one car, so it's going to be tight. If I need to go with you and Jaden, so I can drop Jaden off and take you home, then I can do that. And now I have a whole nother set of options, right? Now I don't have to stay with Jaden like I thought he was saying. He was actually saying, I'm trying to figure out how's the best way to help both of you so that everything can be done. And notice the difference. What I heard him say was, I don't want to drive you because my car's not good. So you've got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and Jaden. That's what I heard. And because of that, I was irritated until I noticed that I was irritated and said, okay, what I heard you say was, is that really true? Now, the other thing that is really important is with Tom on his end, my reaction to him saying, hey, do you think you're going to be able to get done in time? Right? And my reaction, if you say something to somebody that's totally just innocent, just a thing, and they have a really weird response, like a kind of a negative response too, here's what you do. You ready? You say, what did you just hear me say? Why? Because there's some kind of inconsistency between what you are conveying and how they're responding to that. And so going, what did you hear me say? Here's the story behind this, guys, where I learned this. It was years and years ago. Tom and I were just barely married. The kids were at visitation. It was like one of the first weekends that we had in the summer. Kids were at visitation. Tom and I were both in that honeymoon. We're going to show you what great spouses we're going to be. I'm going to clean the house and sparkle it because I'm going to show you I'm that kind of wife. He's going to go outside and he's going to take care of all the yard work and make the yard look fantastic because he's that kind of husband. Like that's what we were doing. They can't even cut. I know I'm totally knocking on you, Tom, but it was the sweetest thing. He actually cut a heart into the grass and had me look out and see it. That honeymoon and stuff. He's got that in him. It's so cute. Anyway, I was in the house all day, scrubbing, cleaning, mopping, polishing. He was outside trimming, mowing, doing all the things that he needed to do. And we crossed. Right as I got done, I put on my swimsuit. We had a pool at that house. I put on my swimsuit and I headed outside. He had just finished up and was coming inside. And I said, hey, I'm going to go sit by the pool for a little while. And his response is just like mine was this morning. Oh. And it shocked me. I'm like, what? Like I thought, well, maybe the chlorine wasn't right, or I don't know. So I said, what did you just hear me say? And he said, I heard you say that I've been outside all day and you've been abandoned inside the house and now you want time with me, but I've been outside all day. I'm hot and sweaty. I just want to relax. I want to have a shower. I just want to sit. But if I do that, now you're going to be all upset because now I'm ignoring you. The whole day's going to go to crap. And I went, really? Because what I said was, I'm going to go outside and sit by the pool. That's it. Okay, guys, it was so fascinating to me that his past relationship and the way other girlfriends, if you will, had reacted to him, he was projecting onto me. And what I had said immediately there was a feeling, and then the interpretation of that feeling came in. Like, what a second, right? Like, we don't even think how fast those feelings come. I have learned about that. I sat and walked this path yesterday for 2 hours learning about what is it called? It's basically the molecular structure of feelings, how they come, emotions. What are they? Where are they made? How does that happen? Fascinating. I will share that another day. Right now, I want you to have some magic words. What did you hear me say? You say that when you're innocently talking and someone has a negative reaction. Okay? What I heard you say was you use that when somebody talks to you and you have this immediate negative reaction. Because somewhere, guys, there's some kind of disconnect. Now let's just take this into what happens if you don't do that. What time do you have to go to your appointment? I have to go at this time. Well, Jane's got to do this, and so we only have one card, so blah, blah, blah. And I could be feeling abandoned, frustrated, like he's not wanting to be responsible or care for me and go to the doctor with me. He's passing it all off. And I, once again, have to just be alone like I am when he travels all the time and take care of things myself. And I just want to have a partner around because he's actually home, but he's going to sit in front of the TV and not going to care. And I'm supposed to be okay with that. Do you see what happens? Oh my gosh. Like, we can run amok unsupervised in our own brain all the time. We do it all the time, unless we get some clarity. So I'm going to offer that to you today. 2 phrases. What did you hear me say? So somebody else has a negative reaction. And what I just heard you say was, now let's go on Tom's side. He's innocently trying to work things out. Okay, so do you think you're going to be done? He immediately feels what? Like wrong, bad. I'm judging him. I'm having all these negative thoughts in my mind about how he's going to abandon me, like in a split second. And he's actually trying to support me and help me and make sure that everything's done. He could get all frustrated, angry. Well, fine. I don't know why I even tried. He could walk away and either that or pout while he drives me and Jaden around because he's going to try to fix it because I'm having a bad, I've got some feelings. And so that means he's got to fix it. And I could say, you made me feel. And he could say, you made me feel. And none of that is true. None of it's true. So we're going to go on this premise all week long. Ready? No one can make you feel anything. Did you know that? No one can make you feel. What happens is, this is what I learned yesterday. I'm going to talk more about this another day, but that feelings, you actually come up in your body and you construct the feeling out of all your past experiences, the data you're bringing in, and as you perceive it and believe something, bam, the feeling shows up to support your belief. So crazy. So crazy, right? We construct things. So Tom did not make me feel dread. He did not make me feel abandoned. He did not make me feel anything. I felt it. My reaction to him didn't make him feel responsible. Didn't make him feel this. He felt it. That's it. One of the most healthy things that you can do for a relationship is stop putting your emotional responses as somebody else's responsibility. That's the really big, important thing I want to have you take away from today. We sense what people are feeling. We interpret those feelings and think we know what they're thinking. Guys, you do not know what anybody else is thinking. You actually don't know what anybody else is feeling. Based on their reactions, you are making up a story about what they feel. Have you ever had that? Where you're like, well, I just didn't want to make you feel bad. And they're like, Yeah, I didn't feel bad. I don't know where you even got that. Because you can't actually feel for somebody. Now, here's the big deal. Notice that it all starts with you recognizing and not making yourself wrong for having an emotion. We were not allowed to have emotions, guys. Most of us were not. We had emotions, but our parents didn't know how to help us process or see because they didn't know what they were thinking or feeling. And so they were just going with what society told them they should think or feel. And if you're not behaving in the same way of thinking and feeling that society or some authority tells you you're supposed to, then you're doing it wrong. And so we make ourselves wrong for doing it. So we actually learned to not be aware of our emotions, right? Don't throw a fit. You need to get a hold of yourself. You need to stop that right now. Just suck it up. Just get it done. Quit being a wimp. Quit being a baby. I don't know why you're afraid. All of that says don't be aware. Don't be aware. So if you have this habit, guys, it all starts with being aware of what you are feeling in any given moment and not make yourself bad or wrong. Now, your parents and society have made you wrong for feeling disappointed, for being misunderstood, for not being supported. You have been told not to be aware of them. We do shove them down and hide them in the box. It doesn't mean that they're not there. We have to look in the box. Now, what I did, just so you know, I shelved the emotion. I had my dread. I had my frustration. Things were not going to go like I had pictured in my mind they were going to go. And instead of running amok unsupervised in my brain, I went like this. That emotion of irritation, I'm going to put you right here. I see you. I'm not shoving you down. I'm aware. And then I'm going to say, so what I just heard you say was, and I'm going to stay present. Now I can look at that motion and go, that was silly because he was actually trying to support me by making sure that I and Jaden both had what we needed. Okay, you go away. That is what processing is. You cannot process if you're not aware. Fun, right? So today, two things. You are challenged today to see an emotion when you feel it, not judge it. Get curious. I wonder why you're right there. And then look at the other person and say, okay, so what I just heard you say was, is that correct? You may feel vulnerable and it may feel awkward because you have never communicated this way. It's totally okay for you to feel awkward and vulnerable when you're learning a new skill. It's like from kids when they get a crayon and they start to color for the first time, they grab the crayon like this and they go like that. It's awkward until they get the muscle skills. Now they can be artists, right? So it's okay if you feel awkward when you say, what I just heard you say was. It can be a little awkward when they're responding to you in a negative way and you go, hey, what did you just hear me say? It's so good because we're not making each other wrong for what we feel. We're not making each other wrong for how we're responding to the feelings that's happening. And what is that? It's called validation. And when we feel validated, we feel seen and heard, and we're actually communicating. How fun is this, guys? This is really good stuff. So that is the goal today. Be aware of what you feel and communicate. Okay? It's pretty easy. I will tell you when somebody gets to clarify what they actually mean, they don't get mad at you. They get mad at you when you assume what they're feeling and you project emotion onto that. That's when they get really, really frustrated. So you asking for clarity doesn't actually cause issues. And if it does, you can say, okay, so when I asked for clarity, what did you hear me say? Because they may have heard, I'm ridiculous, I didn't communicate well, whatever. Now, there are going to be people who don't know how to do this. So, taking a deep breath and allowing them the space to actually think about what they just reacted to. So if you need to say, okay, so what did you hear me say? They don't know how to do that. Okay. So you just reacted. You have to point out, you just reacted this way, which means you're thinking about what I said in some sort of way. So what are you thinking that I said? Just coach them, just help them. Don't get mad that they don't know how to do this, especially if they're not emotionally intelligent or they have no feelings vocabulary. You cannot communicate effectively if you don't know what you feel. You can just say, oh, I've got a feeling, then say this. But to really be communicative, you need to have a feelings vocabulary beyond happy, sad, angry, scared, and other. You've got to know the nuances behind feelings. That's where we're going to work. We're just going to keep working day by day. All of you, listen, when is the last time you felt open? Your interpretation of open doesn't have to be my interpretation of open. When is the last time you felt open? Whatever that is, it's right. Whatever your interpretation, whatever your experience of being open is, it's totally right. That is what you felt, is as you interpret it. So cool to start giving yourself permission. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about what did you hear me say internally? And what I just heard you say was internally. We're going to start talking to ourselves like this, start validating ourselves, start weighing our own perspective and having that communication, because when we do that, we get our feet under us, we get confidence. And when you know yourself, you can confidently show it for others. That's how you do it. It's internal. So we're going to do that tomorrow. All right, everybody, have a super wonderful day. Thanks for being here. That's it. I love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow.